Warning, MF Uncensored contains adult language and discussion. Listener discretion is advised.
We're a couple of misfits. We're a couple of misfits. What's the matter with misfits? That's where we fit in. We're not Duffy and Dilly. Don't go around willy-nilly. Seems to us kind of silly.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to MF Uncensored and the very first episode of 2022. Say what? We are so excited. Thank you, co-host Ronnie, who I didn't introduce yet. Now everybody knows you're here. We are super excited, though, to be here with you guys for our very first episode of the year. We've had such a great opening month to our show. We had some great guest stars on, including Neil Getzlou, who I'm going to talk about in a second, Larry Hankin, who was fantastic, Einar Haraldson, Michael Armagas, the Rico podcast, just so many great contributors, so many great interviews. And we wanted to start off first and foremost the year thanking everybody who's been involved. It's funny, we just were running down our schedule and we have 3 months worth of content that are scheduled and ready to go for you guys. So thank you everyone for your continued support. And speaking of which, this episode is brought to you by Neil Getzlou and his book Unmasked. Unmasked is a story about Neil dealing with addiction and pornography and addiction to prostitution. So it is quite it is a daunting read, and we were very lucky not only to get a copy of the book, but also speak to him. And he is scheduled for a follow-up interview this month. And if you guys want to hear more about Neil and his story, you can go to his website, Neil Getzlou. That's GETZLOW.com. There you'll find information about him, ways to get in touch with him, and a link to his book. You can also find that all on our website, themisfitfaction.com. If you guys want to read Neil's book, which I highly recommend, both myself and producer Melanie have been really digging in at it, you can go on his website. You can go through our website, and at the checkout, enter the code FREESHIP, and you'll get free shipping on any of your orders. So again, that's Neil Getzlou, GETZLOW.com, or themisfitfaction.com, code FREESHIP, and get a copy of his book. But we are excited because we have something so much fun to talk about, something that we are passionate about, something that we've been joking around about probably for years, and we figured now is the time to talk about it. But first, let me introduce co-host, because for those of you guys who have listened to the Multiverse Fancast and Cinematic Adventures or been on our website, you may know this guy. I got Ronnie with me here today. Ronnie, how are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
Oh, just ducky. For those of you guys who are already about to write in our comments how bad the audio quality is, it's because Ronnie is communicating via Zoom.
Yes. Lucky me.
Don't just nod. Ronnie just nods. Dummy.
I was about to say something. I didn't want to interrupt, even though with the lag I should be interrupting you.
Yeah, interrupt as much as you want. It's funny because with COVID and with restrictions and just being cautious and all that stuff, just so you guys know, producer Melanie and I were away for a few days, so we wanted to make a smarter decision. And it's a weird time and weird place that we're living in nowadays. But we also figured, why not have a better time and, still get an episode in for you guys and start the new year off in only the right way that the Misfit Faction could possibly do.
Oh, yeah. The good thing, though, is that we're able to do it via Zoom with the technology and everything. This is kind of the bright spot that came out of this whole situation that we're in is, these different technological platforms that you can use now and everything. So even though this isn't ideal, it still gets the job done. We'll still have a fun time. We'll still make people laugh, hopefully.
Well, hopefully. I mean, it's funny because I've now done 13, 14 Zoom interviews, and all of them are you never know how they're going to go. And,
yes.
And it is always an adventure, especially mild spoilers for one of our interviews. I interviewed a gentleman by the name of Bruce Valanche. And for those of you guys who don't know Bruce Valanche, look him up. He is one of Hollywood's biggest personalities in the whole world. And he asked me, how are you guys doing the interview? And we're like, well, we do Zoom, but it's audio only. He's like, okay. The camera turns on, and he's a large man. Keep this in mind. He is not wearing a shirt, and he does not wear a shirt for the entire episode. And it takes everything in me to not lose my shit every couple of seconds, because he not only is he hilarious, but also he's just this very large, very openly gay, proud man who's been in Hollywood for 40, 50 years, and he's just making jokes about how he doesn't have to wear a shirt because the listeners can't see him.
Yeah, I wish I would have known that, because I would have come a little bit less dressed.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
like I'm fully clothed right now. Not that you can see me or anyone can see me or anything, but I'm not like a newscaster that's not wearing pants underneath the desk.
I wouldn't mind if you were not wearing pants. I think that's where we are in our friendship and our relationship. You know, you were one of my best men at
That
my
is true.
wedding. So
Yep.
I don't know. I
And
think
you're going to be one of mine and mine. So
I mean, do I have to?
you don't have to if you don't want to.
Oh man, so much
Uh,
pressure all of a sudden, God. But
yeah,
we
right.
wanted to start off. So for those of you guys who don't know, Ronnie and I have. Well, first of all, Ronnie and I have known each other for what, 15 years ish,
Yeah.
longish
Ish.
time.
Yeah.
We went from drinking beers in my parents' basement to a long friendship, long successful careers for both of us. But one thing we've
Yes.
always kind of resonated with was fitness and being
Yeah.
fit and being healthy. It started more for me when I was really struggling to begin with weight loss and really bad body image, and that's a whole other podcast episode in itself. But Ronnie and I started working out together. Then I started doing programs by the company Beachbody. If you guys know P90X and stuff like that, then that's kind of where I found my stride. But one thing about it is Ronnie and I have always. I don't want to speak for you, Ronnie, but please feel free to jump in. Ronnie and I have always struggled, or as we got older, we struggled more and more with keeping a healthy body
Yes,
image.
100%.
Especially because Ronnie and I like to drink and we like to eat.
Yep. We like to drink, we like to eat, but we do know how to have that balance where we still have the fun, but we're also disciplined. Like during the week, for instance, like I don't drink at all. The only time I'll drink is, maybe if we're all hanging out. And if so, even then, I'm not really going crazy. So it's all about finding balance in what works for you, not what works for other people.
Yeah. So we kind of racked our brains like, how would we want to start off January? And then we were like, we'll start it off the same way everybody else starts it off, with New Year's resolutions. But for us, and if you couldn't tell by the title of the episode, we think that New Year's resolutions are bullshits.
Yes, 1,000%. The thing with New Year's resolutions, it's why January 1st? Why does it have to be January 1st? It shouldn't have to be January 1st. It could happen anytime, anywhere. I think that's the big problem with it is people think, oh, I have to wait until January 1st to do that. I can't start it once I think of it. That's where, to me, the biggest thing about New Year's resolutions when it comes to being bullshit is it has to be on January 1st.
I find that New Year's resolutions are, don't get us wrong, we are very firm believers in goal setting. Like even when we were creating MF Uncensored, we sat down and we set a lot of goals about where we wanted the show to go and what we want. We firmly believe that setting goals is not only a very good idea, it's a healthy idea, and it's a smarter way to go about things. Because it's really easy for me to be like, I'm going to lose 100 pounds this year. Well, how are you going to do that? I don't fucking know.
I don't know. Exactly.
So, we both. What was that?
I was you can't have a goal. That's the problem is when people set their goals, aka New Year resolutions, a couple things happen. They either make them where it's too generic, too, I'm trying to think of the word. I can't think of the word, but basically too generic. They're like, I want to lose weight.
Okay.
Or like, it's like, all right, that's cool. Well, how much do you want to lose? A pound? You lost a pound. You hit your New Year's resolution. It's like you need to have a specific goal and you need to have it where it's a specific time to start, time to end, and your specific steps. But people just go into it. All right, starting January 1st, I want to start working out and losing weight. Okay, cool. Well, there's a bunch of things that need to go with that, and that's where some people just don't understand is they're just, I want to lose weight, or I want to quit smoking, I want to quit drinking, which are all great goals to have, if you have a problem with those things, but you just have to get specific on what exactly your goal is and the steps that you need to take in order to achieve those goals. And that's where the resolution part is a tough one for people.
Yeah, people they create these very big goals, unattainable goals. And the problem with health and fitness is people want to see results almost immediately. Some things you will see results in almost immediately. Like if you haven't worked out in 6 years and you go to the gym for an hour and a half on Monday, you're going to feel like shit the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you have not taken any other care whatsoever. You don't drink enough water, you don't do this, you don't do that. Now, I'll be honest, I am not a fitness professional. I was for a long time. For those of you guys who don't know, Ronnie and I did martial arts together for years and years until I pursued another career, which does have a lot to do. It doesn't really necessarily have a lot to do with health and fitness, but that is a big component in what I do. But Ronnie owns, he's a co-owner, right?
Yeah, co-owner, managing partner of 2 martial arts schools, around the area where we both live and everything.
And that's also how Ronnie and I met, through martial arts training with each other, and just, mutual friendship and mutual interests in, all sorts of things, and not just health and fitness and being better. But like, for those of you guys who don't know, Ronnie and I have been through some shit too. Like we have really seen some interesting things, both in our own lives, and also, bad decisions made in our youth. And now we're at this point in our lives where we're looking back, and we don't regret anything because, we survived. But now we take a lot of things into account when we're doing things. And, whether it's drinking a little bit less, because everybody started drinking more during COVID. Everybody did.
Yes.
Melanie and I were going through bottles like nobody's business, and she was working from home, and I still had to go into work, which so we all gain weight, and then we all set goals. And the running joke in our house is I keep saying, "Oh, the diet starts on Monday."
Yep.
That's my favorite one, because that's what I say every weekend, because calories don't count on the weekend.
Yeah. See that's the other thing too, is like people go, all right, on December 30th, they're going, all right, January 1st, I'm starting my diet. New year, new me. January 1st rolls around. Like, for instance, this year, it's a Saturday. Oh, but it's Saturday. Maybe I'll start on Monday. Monday rolls around.
Fine.
I mean, I went too crazy. I got to ease myself back into it. Maybe I'll start next week. And then next week turns into next month. Next month turns into the following month. So that's the problem too, is like, when you come up with a resolution, you need to say on this day, and you need to stay committed and start on that day, And
start off with something easy. Like that's the other thing. People are like, all right, I'm going to go to the gym 6 days a week for an hour a day. Bullshit.
No, I don't even do that.
No, you may, and that's the problem. Start off with something small, and like, we're not here to preach, and obviously this is also supposed to be like our fun thing. But for those of you guys who don't know, I guess I'll announce it now. We have fitness professionals coming in for the entire month of January, and some of them, they're going to tell some of their stories and how they are, and it's easy for us, Ronnie and me, 2 guys in our 30s who you could tell we work out, but that we also enjoy the occasional cupcake.
Yep.
Like for New Year's Eve, we ordered Buffalo Wild Wings at the party that we went to with Sean, and just I don't even remember, like. But in all honesty, it's also about forgiving yourself and not being so strict, because that was the thing that I struggled with personally for a long time.
That's the big issue, is if you want to lose weight, you don't diet. That's the thing. You don't go on a diet. You need to have a lifestyle change. It's not just about what you're eating. It's about how much you're eating, and the fact that you still need to be able to work out. You can lose weight just by changing your diet and cutting things out. But also, like, you don't want to like deprive yourself of what you want. It's okay to have, thing, if that's part of your quote unquote diet, where it's all right, Monday through Saturday, I'm good. On Sunday's my cheat day, but I'm only going to have like a little bit extra food. You do that. You don't want to go too serious, especially like you said, right away. Like if you haven't worked out in a while, and you go to the gym for 6 days and you work out an hour each time, and you're actually putting in an hour's worth of work, you're going to be dead and not want to go back to the gym. Right. You got to start small, go 2 days for an hour. Then once you get in the groove, you add on and everything. You can't just go hard right away.
Also, talking about bullshit, the next couple of weeks, all you're going to see on social media, and this is everyone, you are going to see nothing but quote unquote fitness professionals. Now, if you guys follow us on Instagram, the Misfit Faction, we have a couple of affiliates that we work with. One of which is Jackie McMorrow from I Said Yes Fitness. She's hopefully going to be on the show this month. And the other is Daniela Leifer from Courage Company. And they both post videos all the time of them just doing the natural work. Daniela posts a lot about how social media is changed through a lot of filtering, a lot of editing. Look at our podcast. After we record our average podcast, I spend usually about, as much as we like to joke, I usually spend about 35 to an hour of just putting it together and editing it and putting in music and changing things and taking out the ums and taking out the spaces. It's not just, it's not like a live show where it's whatever I'm doing at the time. Like that, whatever I say is that, well, they heard it. That's it. The fitness industry is a business, and it is the business. Now,
yes,
we're guilty of it too. Like if you guys have listened to any of our shows, we love Raise Energy.
Yep.
big worst time for a delay, Ronnie. Jeez. But
sorry.
Sorry. Don't be sorry. Be quiet. But
okay.
I mean, like I'm sitting here literally in a Raise shirt. I had a Raise about an hour ago just to get me through today. But we only support products that we enjoy and that we find value in, and we're not focused on a bottom line. Like, don't get me wrong. Would I love to be a fitness professional and do that my entire life? Absolutely. Ronnie gets to do that to a degree. Jackie gets to do that to a degree. Our friend Kristen is a national competitor, and she's going to be on the show. She keeps asking me, when are we going to schedule? When are we going to schedule? So we're not trying to downplay anybody's goals, anybody's dreams, but we're also the whole point of the Misfit Faction and MF Uncensored was to call out the bullshit and to have fun and talk about the things that we like talking about without being stuck in a specific genre. Right? Yeah. As much as we love, like, the Multiverse Fancast was our first podcast that we ever did.
It's a baby.
It's our baby. And it's arguably our most successful podcast to a degree. Yes. Like, our Spider-Man episode hit
60 something.
Like, our biggest amount of downloads and streams and all these things, and, most fan interaction. But in all honesty, like, we would love to talk about everything. So that's why MF Uncensored came out, because we wanted to talk about that. As much as we love comic book movies, we have other things that we could talk about. Yeah.
Well, like we love everything, like we love everything. We love to talk, obviously. And again, you and me, we have Multiverse Fancast, which for those that don't know, it's all about superheroes, comic books, along that kind of genre and everything, TV shows and movies for that stuff. And then you and Sean have Cinematic Adventures, which is all about movies, old movies, current movies, everything like that, and all genres of movies. So this kind of gives us a thing to kind of branch out and talk about other things that we love. Like, for instance, this month, fitness. We're, like you said, we're big into fitness. We have people in our lives that are big into fitness and everything. So it's nice to branch out and have people hear us other than just talking about superheroes and comic book stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, for us especially, because already I hear somebody going, well, they're just trying to get in on the hype train because everybody's talking about fitness and they want to be. No, we've always been very big into the concept, but also, like, we do a race called Tough Mudder. Tough Mudder is one of our favorite things in the whole world. Ronnie and I have, I've done 15-ish. Ronnie, I think you've done like 8.
No, I'm at like 10. I'm at 10. I got that bandana.
You got the nice one. You got
the headband,
the black and red, the black and orange one.
Black and orange one. Yeah, like, man.
I proposed to Melanie at the finish line of a Tough Mudder, at her very first Tough Mudder. Like, and that one of the reasons that I bring up Tough Mudder is because it is the perfect example of wanting to lead an active fitness lifestyle, but also not having to be super shredded to do it.
Yes.
Like, people ask, like, I've done Tough Mudder, I've done Spartan, I've done, that basic, any sort of races, and people ask, well, which one do you like the most? I'm like, I like Tough Mudder because anyone can do it.
Yes. And I agree. Tough Mudder, anyone, any size can do it, because a lot of it is all about camaraderie and teamwork and everything. And while you have Spartan Race, which is a fun one to do, it's all individual stuff. And that one you have to be in shape for. Like, I've ran 2 of them, and one of them I was in terrible shape and, like, dreaded it. But then I did it again when I was in a little bit better shape, and I did it, not with ease, because it is a tough one, but a lot easier. So it's, you do have to be in some sort of shape in order to do a Spartan Race.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I think the first, you and I did a Spartan together, and I think we did 2, because I think with a group of friends, there was like 4 or 5 of us. And I remember, like, the first thing is, like, you have to run up this mountain. It's like 3 miles straight up, or like, the fuck it is.
Yeah, right.
But I like
Where's the ski lift?
I know, right? But like Spartan, a person can do by themselves. But then Tough Mudder, we go with a team. Like we've gone with a team of like 15, 20 people. We traveled. We've
Yeah,
gone to Virginia. We've gone to Maryland. Like we've gone all
yeah.
over to do these races. And again, it's not because Ronnie and I are not going to sit here being like we're so jacked, we're so ripped. Because if you've seen pictures of us, you
No.
know that may not be necessarily the case.
Yeah, we got nice arms. That's about it.
Yeah, nice arms. I always ask Melly. I'm like, what part of my body do you like? She's like, your eyes and your arms. I'm like, that's it. Dang it. But
At least you get something. Jacqueline's like nothing. No.
that you
Your
proposed.
personality.
That you proposed. But like, it's funny because after years of podcasting, and years of chatting, and just we never have like really. It's been a long time since we've sat down and talked about the fitness stuff, and really like we started with each other.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you know, upstairs in the Taekwondo training room on like a Saturday afternoon, just I remember the first time you and I worked out, we made like small stations and we just rotated around.
Yep.
That was the extent of our planning.
The good old days.
Now, if you guys want to be entertained, follow I Said Yes Fit, right? I Said Yes Fitness.
I said yes, fitness. Yes.
And you can find occasional videos of Ronnie in the background, and they're the funniest things you will ever imagine.
I just want to point out she did post a video of me and her actually working out, and I wasn't in the background. I was doing work.
Mm-hmm.
For once. I was actually lifting and everything. But yeah, for some reason, she always posted a video of me in the background on like a break in between sets. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
And it's always when you're walking funny.
Yes.
You always got like your hands awkwardly on your hips.
My hands on my hips, open up my chest and everything to get more air in. She's just like, this is a good one to post.
So it's funny you say that because I'm the opposite. Melanie hates when I post pictures of her because she's like, I always look so terrible. I'm like, I think you look great. She's like, you are the worst. And I'm like, wow.
You're just saying that.
Wow. But you know, going back to our discussion, it's another thing. Like if you want to get into shape for the new year, cool. Do you be healthy? We firmly
1000%.
believe that a healthy lifestyle is one of the most important things that people tend to forget because it's easy, man. It is so fucking easy to fall off. Here's an example. I have not had fast food in over 10 years. Or maybe just about 10 years. And that was a personal choice because there was a point where Ronnie and I would go to we went to Burger King so often that they knew my order. Like that.
Yep.
Imagine walking into your local fast food place and they know your order. That is horrifying in retrospect.
Yes.
So I have not had fast food in years. Melanie and I were on vacation last week in Washington. And that's one of the other reasons that we're doing this via Zoom, because trying to find a testing kit is almost impossible. Not that we think we have COVID or anything, but just as a precaution.
Yep.
So we're coming back and it's like 1 o'clock. We're getting ready to leave. And we're like, let's just go. We'll get food on the road. The traffic was so bad. Suddenly it's like 3:30, 4 o'clock. We're at one of the last rest stations that we can, or we're at a rest station and we're just like, we're starving. We need gas. My choices were Popeyes, Burger King, Z Market, which is some sort of Delaware brand, or Chinese food from the rest station. I'm like, fuck.
Let me guess, Burger King chicken fries.
I thought about it. I really, really did. But like, as much as we joke around about it, I had a real problem. Like a real, and I didn't realize how bad it was until, because you know, when you're 20 and you're 21, 22, you can eat Burger King 7 days a week, drink every night, and if you work out maybe twice a week, you're still in great shape.
You're golden. Yeah.
Like, it's incredible. If you're young, if you're in your 20s, or if you're a teenager, it's easy for your body to bounce back. But as you get older, it gets harder and harder. Like after this, I have to do yoga. Like I have to stretch after this to take on the rest of my week. I'm 34, not ancient, but that's what I have to do for my body, and that's just the way it is as you get older. It's not just, you know, doing bicep curls twice a week and you're like, all right, good to go. But so we're at this rest station and I'm like actively torn about what I'm going to eat at this rest station. So finally I was like, I don't want to have Burger King because I'm very proud of the fact that I don't have Burger King. I'm not getting Chinese food from the rest station because I'll actually just die. And that's not a slight against Chinese food because I do enjoy Chinese food for the most part. Yeah. But not from the rest station in Delaware.
Yeah.
So we end up getting Popeyes, and I took 2 bites, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna feel this. This is gonna be a rough
Yeah.
rest of my day. So I ended up just getting like some chicken tenders or something like that, and man, it sucked. Like I was
Yeah.
miserable. I couldn't finish it, and Mel and I are
Hmm.
sitting there because we don't. And also that's the reason I picked Popeyes is because we don't. I don't eat there often. There's not a single Popeyes near us.
No.
No.
I mean, I got one kind of near me, but that's because of, the town I live next to,
Hmm.
uh, and everything. But I mean, yeah, I same thing. We don't eat fast food, or anything like that. The fastest food we get is pizza, which is not fast food.
Right.
So again, that's one of the things that actually is funny that you bring it up too, because Jacqueline actually posted something because she had problems with her atlas, so she was going to a chiropractor to reset it and everything. And one day she walked in and there was a thing of McDonald's sitting on the counter,
Oh no.
opened up and said, "This was bought." I can't remember if it was either March or February of 2021. So, and this was maybe at the beginning of December. So it's been 9 months or so, and it looked like it just left McDonald's.
Oh no.
And like people are putting that in their body,
Hmm.
like don't get me wrong, McDonald's French fries are really good.
Yeah.
Like there are things that like I'm like, ooh, I could definitely go for some McDonald's French fries, but that's about it.
Hmm.
Like I want a burger. I'll stop at a restaurant and
And
pick it
get an
up on my
actual
way
burger.
home
Yeah.
and get an actual burger. But I think that's the big thing. We're talking about New Year's resolutions being bullshit.
Hmm.
And I think that's one that isn't bullshit is stop eating fast food.
Right.
But you gotta be committed and you can't make excuses. That's the thing too. It's but I said I wasn't gonna eat fast food, but I have nothing at home to eat and I'm too tired to cook or this and that. So I need to stop to get it. No, go to a restaurant, spend the extra 3, 4, 5 bucks, and get a fresh burger.
Oh yeah.
Nothing made from chemicals.
It's
You
funny,
know,
like because we found ourselves at that conundrum where these are my options, and
yeah,
in all honesty, like it's also not about. And the reason New Year's resolutions fail, besides the fact that A, working out is hard. If you do it right,
yeah,
you're going to feel it the next day, especially if your nutrition and other things aren't in accordance, right? B,
yes,
you want to see those instant results. I hate to say it, but like you need at least 6 months in the gym with a good diet to really start seeing anything. You'll start seeing things, here or there.
yeah,
Other people are going to also notice it way before you do, especially if they haven't seen you in a
hmm,
while. But also, C, people don't realize that like you can moderation, right? If
yeah,
if I have Burger King once a month, once a year, once a week, even, it's not going to derail my entire progress. Especially,
hmm,
who is it? Sylvester Stallone has said about training. He's like, Monday to Thursday, I am the most disciplined person you're going to meet. But then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I like to enjoy myself. It's all
yeah,
about finding that balance. And we're not here to demonize anything, especially like, if it works for you, it works for you. But
yeah,
the whole point of this episode is not to be like, hey, your stupid thing is, can't do this. Like, it's
yeah,
about having fun and enjoying yourselves and just, yeah, like,
yeah.
but also
Exactly. You
being happy.
you want to make your resolution or your goal be practical. That's another big thing that people don't do is they don't make it practical.
Right.
They're like, oh, I want to lose 100 pounds. All right,
In
well,
three
there's
weeks.
50, right? Like that's the thing. Okay, you could lose 100 pounds, in a year because that's only 1.8 pounds, a week, which is very doable as long as you stick to it.
Mhm.
But it's like the people that are like, oh, I want to lose 100 pounds in 5 months. Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Like,
You can't do that.
like it's like that's I don't know about that. That might not be obtainable. Like, so you got to be smart. If you want to lose 100 pounds, lose 100 pounds, but give yourself the time because then what happens is you say, oh, I want to lose 100 pounds by, you know, June 1st, right? All right, so you got 5 months to lose 100 pounds. Well, comes May 1st and you're down only 50 pounds. you're going to give up. Because in your head, you're going to go, well, I can't lose 50 pounds in a month. It took me, 4 months to lose 50 pounds.
Oh, the
and then you're going to
worst.
give up and you're going to go back to the old ways. So that's another reason why sometimes New Year's resolutions are bullshit, is because you don't make the resolution realistic.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of people also, and I'm very guilty of this, and I've only started really getting over it, is a lot of people, they overuse health supplements to get there. I am so guilty of it. I've done the fat burners. You and I have done some of those things, and all the pre-workouts and all this stuff. And it's only in the last month or so that I looked at my diet and I was like, am I just buying all this stuff? Because I was spending like $300 a month just on supplements, and I was like, am I spending all this money and getting results, or would it be more beneficial for me to rethink how I do things? So now I'm down to 1.5 shakes. I say 1.5 because I combine 2. 1.5 shakes a day, and I substitute all I do food. Like I eat because I used to be afraid to eat I just try and measure it out a little bit better. Like we were talking about how people don't want to like cook. It took me 35 seconds to make oatmeal today.
Yeah.
I literally opened the packet, poured it in a bowl, a third of a cup of almond milk or I think just regular milk, and I had oatmeal in 35 seconds.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing.
And the thing too is it's all right, meal prep. Every Sunday, today we're recording it Sunday. So after this, if it's not done already, me and Jacqueline are going to meal prep for the week. You take an hour to cook your entire meal for the week, or at least for the next 4 days. And then for 4 days, you don't have to worry about cooking. You come home, throw it in the microwave for a minute, 2 minutes, whatever it is, to warm it up, and boom, you're set. The thing too is people get lazy with their resolutions. They start it and then they go, well, now I don't have time to do it. No, you have time because you're sitting watching TV for an hour. During that hour, you can be working out, reading a book, whatever the case may be. But people are just lazy. That's the problem with, I'm going to say, Americans, is most Americans are lazy.
We live in a country of convenience where everything is right there for us. And if we don't have it right away, then we don't want it. Perfect example. Today, we had a lot of trouble getting Zoom and recording and all that stuff together. To the point where we were already starting to make a backup plan. But instead, we just kept at it and we kept working at it. And here we are. Our episode's wrapping up in a couple of minutes and we were able to do it. And unfortunately, we live in a world where everybody wants the instant satisfaction and the instant gratification. And we're all guilty of it too. Like, God forbid, my phone doesn't work for more than 10 minutes. Like, oh, your life is done. Yeah, right? What am I going to do? What are you going to do? You can't go outside and play. Well, not anymore. Now it's just weird. Well, not anymore. I'm 34. Yeah, I'm 34. Now it's a little weird. You guys want to play? That's the thing. Nowadays is, these kids have all this stuff at their fingertips that when you take it away or you lose internet or electricity, they sit and they go, well, I'm bored. There's nothing to do. And it's like, you have outside. When we were kids, we were outside playing, from sun up to sundown. Our parents would drag us back inside and everything like that. Instant gratification and technology, as much as it's nice to have, it's also a burden at the same time. It's tough. It's tough to find the balance. And, Ronnie and I, we're both, he's getting ready to get married. I've been married for technically a year, but COVID doesn't count. We're talking about, families and kids in the near future. You know what I mean? It counted. We'll do a whole episode on COVID weddings. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah. Fun's a weird word for it, but we're at that point where now we have to think about how our actions impact potentially future lives. Jackie has a 13-year-old daughter, so Ronnie's starting the race while it's already begun. Yep. But if kids pop in, what are we here to teach? And I think for me and Ronnie, one of the biggest things is teaching a healthy lifestyle, because in all honesty, and to be honest, we did not always have one. And it's only in not having one, we are like a lot of other people where we got motivated because we weren't happy with where we were. Yes. So to be able to do an entire podcast episode where we just talk about, some personal stuff, like this got real. And that was the whole point of the show and creating MF Uncensored, was to be real. And, you know, it's as much as I love talking about things like Spider-Man, or I think Sean and I are going to talk about Ghostbusters next week. Like that's the fun stuff.
Yeah.
But like, we also we have this great opportunity to talk to people and connect with people. And one of the things that people have been saying about our shows is they like how it tackles real issues. Like our talk with Neil was real.
Oh God, yeah.
And it was not an easy one to have, because it was a sensitive topic. And we have a couple of other people on the docket where, like, hearing their stories, I'm like, and I've seen some shit, guys. Like I have seen some shit, I've heard some shit, I've been involved with some shit. It's crazy that we still have people that want to share stories with us, and we're really grateful. And, you know, we also thought it would be a good opportunity for us to tell our story, because it's not just going to be interviews. The show's not an interview show. It was always designed to kind of be like, everybody always says, why don't you guys just record what you're doing right now? Because we'll just have like these random. You should hear us at breakfast.
Yeah.
Usually on Sundays we go to George's over in nearby, and the conversations we've had, mostly because I think we have a subconscious desire to just one up each other and see whose significant other rolls their eyes the hardest first.
Yeah, and not to toot my own horn, but I feel like I win a lot.
Jackie's done with your shit. That's why.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if that's because of me or because it's Jackie or what, but I feel like I win those, and I don't know if I should be proud that I win those a lot or not.
See, you have your fiance who rolls her eyes. Now my wife joins in. So hopefully one day Jackie will get to that level and
she
start just
does. She
everyone.
chimes in every once in a while. She will chime in, but
and it's always like a gem too. Like we weren't ready for it, and it's just like, oh shit, dropping big ones.
Great.
But I think that's pretty much going to wrap us up for today. We want to thank you guys for part one of our health and fitness and you know, just kind of New Year's resolution bullshit stuff. Like, we're really excited to do it. It's something we've been working on now for about a month. I've been trying to get this one all set now. Interviews are looking good for now. So if anything changes, obviously we'll let you guys know. But if you guys are looking for more content, you can find us on our Facebook page of the Misfit Faction. You can also find us at misfitfaction.podbean.com. That's the direct link to our podcast. You can find us at themisfitfaction.com. There you'll find links to all of our shows, not just MF Uncensored, but also the Multiverse Fancast and Cinematic Adventures, as well as different articles that Rob's been writing for us over the past year or so. So a lot of great content. Our YouTube channel is the Misfit Faction Media Network. All of our shows automatically get put up there. You can also find us on Instagram, the Misfit Faction, at Twitter, at Misfit Faction is the handle. And and I hate to say it, we just joined TikTok, and I suck at it. Yeah.
Hey, listen. You don't suck. You're a beginner. You have to learn how to do it.
Such a beginner.
You don't suck.
But you can find us out.
That's your New Year's resolution, is to get better at TikTok.
I already gave up on that New Year's resolution because that's bullshit. But I hate you so much. But that's going to wrap us up. As always, I'm Paul.
I'm Ronnie.
And we'll be back next week.